There's a string here near Gilligan's head. I'm not real sure what it's for, other than when he puts the net over his head, the tip of the net raises up in the air for some reason. Maybe they didn't want it to flop into his face. It took me a long time to find this, but Mr. Howell's camera is a Petroflex 7. They're an unusual camera and didn't sell very well, and in fact now they're a collector's item. This is a pretty obvious use of a reflector or light. First, you can see it really increasing in intensity on the rest of these castaways, and then becomes very bright as Gilligan approaches it on the left here. This one's pretty funny. To the left of this scene, you can see smoke curls coming into the scene, so someone, either the director or crew, is just off camera smoking. I can't figure out the washing machine in this one. Mary Ann's pumping like crazy, and yet if you look in the window, nothing is moving, and the suds look like they're sitting on top of the lid of this oil drum. I'm going to speed up this long sample I'm showing you. This spider on the ground, they actually did a pretty good job with this spider because it moves and it looks like it moves its legs independently. It doesn't look like it's being tugged on a string, and it actually does make some distance after a while. So I'm going to speed this up so you can see how it does actually move. And here is a new establishing shot for season 1. Look at the size of this lagoon, and it makes you wonder why they live around the one they do if they have this great big one available to them.
Should I pick the yellow bananas or the red bananas?
I just wanted to point out that there are, in fact, red bananas. This scene is a little contrived in a couple ways. First, Mrs. Howell is standing there talking to the others about 1.5 feet from where Gilligan is hiding down in this bush. She certainly would have seen his hat and seen him, because as the shot approaches her, you can see there's absolutely no foliage on her side of the bush. I don't know what he's doing in the middle of this bush thing holding these bananas anyways, because even though bananas do grow on a very tall plant, it's a flowering plant, it is not a tree. But even so, they're usually 12 to 30 feet tall when they're bearing fruit. You can see Mrs. Howell gets ahead of the game a little bit here when she reaches over and starts to tap Mr. Howell before she sees the native. And here, the first time we see 3 of the castaways tied up to these poles, facing them, we see it's Ginger, Mary Ann, and the professor. And then after the Howells are captured, we see that is switched to the professor, Mary Ann, and Ginger. And here we see the shadow of a swinging boom in the upper left area. Notice this tree starts to bend ever so slowly on its own before the native even hits it. When Gilligan falls backward out of fright in this shot, if you look under the table, you can see a thick mat that he lands on. They probably thought they had it hidden, but you can tell that's what it is, and it even bounces a little bit when he lands.